trying to step all over me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know.
So you don't like it, but you don't quite know how to move to control it and change it, huh? There were a number of places where limits would have been really important for Jay. To limit is to help the child pull back from behaviors that are inappropriate and know that if this, then that. That's what you really would like to get some sequences like that established for Jay, so that he understands that certain consequences follow certain behaviors in a predictable way, so that he can try to regulate his own behavior.
I know what we're gonna do now, okay?
Okay.
You're gonna be a robber. I mean, you're gonna be a kidnapper.
Okay.
Okay?
I'll take you home now. You got that?
Okay, now you're gonna put me in the car. You're gonna take me home. And then you're gonna let me off, and you're gonna leave, and I'm gonna go in.
Okay.
And my dad's gonna be real happy to see me.
Okay.
Okay?
You're gonna I'm gonna take you to the car again and drive you home and let you out. Okay. And then what am I gonna do?
Well, first you gotta put on the mask.
Okay. I gotta put on the mask to drive you home.
Right.
All right. When I let you out, what I do?
Then you're gonna go away.
Okay. All right.
Right.
All right. Put on the mask. Okay. Get up. There we go. Come on, now, come on, get in this car again. Hurry up. I'm taking you home. Get rid of you. Like that. Now be quiet and be still.
Right, here's my house.
Okay, here we are. Okay, now you go in the house and you be a good kid as soon as I leave. You got that?
Right, okay, now you're gonna be inside, you're gonna be my dad. You're gonna be real happy to see me.
Okay.
Jay, you're home. You're safe. You're safe. I'm so glad to see you. You all right? Did it hurt you?
Yeah, how do you get all the money, Dad?
I got a loan. I got a loan for $10,000.
Really?
Yeah, I had to wake the bank people up at midnight to get it, but I got it. I'm so glad you're home.
Eston, I just can't wait to tell you how great that play session was.
It was so neat.
Thank you.
Really good.
Yeah.
We had a real good time.
Yeah, we did too. We all enjoyed watching it.
I'm looking forward to my next session. Are you? After that.
Yeah. That was really neat.
You must have felt very good about it too. It was such
I
a
did.
difference from what we saw when you first came in here.
Yes.
You were really
yeah.
having fun, weren't you?
Yeah, I really was. I was impressed with Jay, you know, and the way he was in control and seemed to have it all planned out, and he knew every little detail that he wanted me to
It
do.
was like that major theme that was so troublesome to you and Kath in the beginning, the control area, seems to have really dropped out as a major issue between you. Seems to be very flexible. You know, you just seems like you've all pulled out of that as an area between you. And from what you're telling me about what goes on at home, it seems like it's happening that way at home too.
It's really carried through at home, I think, a lot.
Yeah, we don't
It's really
have
changed.
any of the big explosions like we had when we first came.
Yeah.
It's not like that anymore. Jay doesn't always like what we want him to do, and we don't always agree on
Everything's
stuff.
not always smooth all the time.
But we don't. I mean, we've used the limit setting, and it's just sort of 1, 2, 3, and Jay knows that there's a definite end and results, and so he may not like it, but he knows what's going to happen. So I don't end up getting mad all the time like I used to.
He's not always trying to step on me anymore. I don't feel like he tries to do that to me anymore so much.
It's neat to be able to play, you know, with your son like that, and to be able to let him sort of be creative and in control at the same time. I thought he was very creative with his little drama. Sort of I wasn't having as much fun with it before.
Sort of constructive creativity now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we all have a good time with this creativity now.
You don't feel as though it's winding you up the loser.
Yeah,
Right.
it doesn't work against us so much anymore.
In November 2005, Dr. Gary Landreth was awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award by the Association of Play Therapy Incorporated. Lisa Saldana, the association's president, said, Landreth founded and directed the largest play therapy training program in the world as an outgrowth of his classes in 1975. Landreth's former student, Daniel Sweeney, director of the Northwest Center for Play Therapy Studies at George Fox University in Portland, Oregon, says years ago Landreth made it his mission to help children, and today he's literally affected the lives of millions of people worldwide.
The development of filial therapy by Bernard and Louise Gurney in the 1960s was the most significant mental health contribution made in the last 50 years. We are indebted to these innovative and courageous rebels and owe them a big thank you. Sadly, there never are enough professionals in our field, but the Gurney's innovative work has helped fill the gap. Filial therapy is the most powerful method available for impacting our society and changing the world.
Yeah, I think I first attended a training that Bernie had done. It was one of their 3-day trainings that they did at Penn State in 78 or 1979. And it changed my whole plans about where I wanted to go career-wise, because I think they were onto something important that was missing from my prior work, which was the importance of empathy and emotion, and particularly their focus on the relationship and how do we, in a positive way, help people have better relationships. So when it came time, I worked, I think, for another year or two, actually trying to incorporate some of what I had learned, both in an outpatient setting with couples, as well as in a residential program, which were children and adults who had various mental health problems. And it worked so well that I finally decided I wanted to go back for my doctorate. So even though I was accepted into a number of clinical psych programs, which I thought was what I wanted, because I decided, no, I want to work with Bernie. Went to Penn State. Bernie became my advisor. He suggested I take Louise's course. I took her course, and I think I had about 3 play sessions with a child. And at that point, it was like, oh my gosh, this is like magic. And that was my first reaction, and I've been doing a lot of child work ever since. I mean, technology is great, and it allows parents to be in touch with their kids. I think structured activities are good too, but I think it's the quantity. We're really busy giving kids an awful lot today because there's so much out there that we can be giving them. But we're not always giving them what they need most, which is just fun time with their parents. Free play is important for children, and when parents can just do that with their kids, there's nothing like that to bring a family together. And it will help kids. I mean, we know now that just playing like that actually creates the amount of neurons in the brain and strengthens the neural connections in the brain. I mean, we know that now. We didn't know that before, and it doesn't all have to be orchestrated by adults. What happens a lot in filial therapy, whether the families have big troubles or not, is the parents say, I'm more playful now, and that's a good thing. It's beautiful to watch a parent and a child sit down together and just laugh, and you know they haven't laughed together like that in a long time.
Working with children then, sparked my interest in family, that being the formative body, you might say, of where people's psyche is formed to a large extent. And so it seemed like a good idea to work with couples, engaged couples, married couples, and from there to work with families. And at that time, this was in the late 50s and early 60s. There were only a couple people. One person was Ackerman, another was Mnuchin, Salvador Mnuchin in New York. So through a student, I learned about Mnuchin, and that was he was working with families in Harlem. And so I started to go there and work with him on a regular basis, and wrote a book which I had a role in Families of the Slums. That's how it branched out, where we became interested primarily in working with families.
The theory that really is most basic to all of this is from Carl Rogers, and his idea that people have within themselves the abilities to resolve problems and to have more accurate perceptions and develop better acceptance of themselves and of other people, that resides within themselves, and what they need is somebody else to help them do that. In other words, it's there, but it's broken down because of environmental conditions, interpersonal conflicts, interpersonal assaults from parents that are cruel or whatever. And so it all is there. And so this is kind of our view too, is that people have these powers, within them, and that by teaching them skills. Now, he didn't teach skills. He provided a therapist who listened and allowed you to express your views without criticism, without challenge, without trying in any way to do anything more than to try to fully grasp what you were saying and accept it. That step beyond that and teach you the skills of how to deal with all these issues that you have, that give you the skills to forward yourself and to pull those, strengths and put them into action. So that's a big thing behind it. It's a driving force. Otherwise, why would you think that you could get people to do all these things if you didn't believe that they had that kind of strength and power? If the individual didn't have that, it's a philosophical position. The analysts would have said, no, you don't have it. It has to be given to you by an authority who understands more than you do. And the Rogerian thing is that you do have it, but it gets bogged down by virtue of the difficulties of living. And so you help people draw on that and give them the skills and give them the ways to go.
Well, but he didn't give them the therapeutic skills.
No, he didn't give them the skills
to do that, either for themselves or for other people. So that's what our contribution was to develop the teaching of the therapeutic skills to enable that to happen, so that families could use it with each other.
Yeah.
And also, in our approach, what we did was, to a large extent, was integrate that with another psychological approach, and they were considered competing and incompatible with each other, and that was behavior modification as opposed to the client-centered approach.
This is Rogers, client-centered.
And so, but we didn't see anything that was really contradictory in our minds. It was taught to different people in different schools and by different people and all, but I didn't see anything that was really competitive, and nor did Louise, and or incompatible. And so we taught people in the family both those kinds of therapeutic skills, the ones that came from behavior modification and the ones that came from client-centered therapy, and gave those both as tools to couples and families to use to help each other.
A lot of different theories into their approach, and they have them blended in a very artful kind of way. So they drew from all different types of theoretical orientations. It's all integrated theory. It's all in one package. What the Gurneys did that's so special is that they really emphasized that with the right training and the right follow-through and support, families are capable of great things.